All right, so far today we waited overnight for our 415 to cure and dry in the rear. We've got the fuel cell is in.
Bill put in the fuel cell.
Bill helps put in the fuel cell. We just got to remake our lines and plumb it up to the front of the car. See, other than that, we got the subframe all cleaned up where the engine goes. We finished up the steering now. We ended up having to weld some pieces together. Mr. Lee, master brake line technician, finished all these brake lines for the line lock, and we're replacing some lines toward the rear of the car. So that's where we're at now. We're about to try our hand at adjusting this old Saginaw steering gearbox.
What are you thinking, Butterscotch?
Butternut Buttercup Scotch over here. We called Mr. Ankin to get his input, and as usual, he was absolutely useless. He said something to the effect of, if it was me, here's the thing, what I would do. So no, we called David. He gave us some input on, we need to get this fire suppression system mounted. Something about not wanting to be on fire is really important to me. However, I have never installed one, and I wanted to get some good feedback from people that have. He did give me a good suggestion, which was to reach out to John Sears, and he is the Mr. Tech Guru guy for RTRA. So if anybody should have some good advice on, you know, safety equipment, it would be John Sears. In the interim, we're gonna see if we can adjust this steering box and make some progress and get this motor put back in. You might have to put more caster in it to get the self-return back. Feel that in the car and see what that feels like, Jacob. That took most of that slop out.
Oh yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah, still a little.
You see how much is moving in here?
Yeah.
It's a lot better. Good enough.
If he would stop around, man, we could actually get some shit done.
No, you don't have to wait for me. You can
put an engine in by myself? Yeah, sure. I took it out by myself, why not?
No, there's all kinds of things you could be doing.
Like what?
Figuring out your
we should probably run, you think we should run that, make that line? I can't make that line.
Which one?
The fuel line. But I think we can do that with the motor in there, don't you?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, right.
Maybe not with the header on, but you got to kind of roll the motor to get the headers in there anyway.
Something's getting hot.
Now you want some pliers?
Now you want some pliers? Sure.
Say this hole's big enough. How about that?
Well, if you weren't burning up the f***ing bit, we wouldn't be having this problem.
You were lubing it, it was burning.
Don't overthink it, just put it in.
His arms are 6 feet long, and he's struggling like he can't reach. If I had arms that long, I'd be back there. I'd be like fucking go-go gadget. I'd be putting a fuel cell in from here.
This is the elusive Jacob Stackerwald. He measures an astonishing 9 meters and weighs approximately 250 stone.
What?
It's tough to do this. Hey, what? All right.
Rotate.
Okay. For dramatic effect. Motor just a little bit. Come on.
Came down.
Did it? I couldn't see it.
It's resting.
3 weeks later.
I think the mailman stopped by, boys.
It does look like the mailman stopped by. The UPS guy stopped by with some stuff from RaceWire. There's a big old sticker on there that says, inspect your parts within 3 days. If anything's missing and you don't tell us within that time, sucks to be you. It's not exactly what it says, but pretty much. So this is the first time we've actually ever done anything with RaceWire. We were trying to save some time and get some of this pre-done to make rewiring the ute a little bit easier. So let's see what we've got. It's actually really done really nice. Really good instructions. Here is the breakdown of what we ordered. So this is supposed to have an EFI bundle on it, window motors, door jamb switches, water pump, fan, engine water pump or auxiliary if not needed, 2 fans, transmission cooler. So yeah, looks like everything is here. It's a very nice board, very lightweight. It is relatively thin carbon fiber, but I'm certain that that is just to keep the weight to a minimum. Should be pretty easy to get this mounted. The idea was to mount this behind the driver's seat if there's enough room. What are you thinking, Jacob?
Yeah, I think there's enough room.
So we'll have to find a way to get some bolts, probably weld mount maybe, to hold this. Or maybe even some rib nuts. But we'll find a place to get this mounted, and then
Yeah, so you got all these inputs. So this, yeah, this goes just like that.
my man
It's already wired in. Really got the
Jacob is already thinking, do we really have to wire all that shit in? Not only do we have to do that, we've got to do it in less than 6 weeks. Yeah, packaging was really good. Quality, construction, all that was really good. So far, so good. I like it. Now we just got to get in there and have a wiring party and see if we can make this ute run. Now we got the scissors, Jacob.
Yeah.
Waiting on an intake.
We got to sit down what to do on that. I put the rear end together, the rear end back in, pump fuel.
When we get back, I think we can divide and conquer. We've got to get that fire suppression system in there as well.
Yeah.
The harnesses, we got to mount we got to figure out how we're going to mount the passenger seat.
Yeah.
I've got to build the rear, so you can start working on getting the seat in. We've got to get the shifter in. You start working on that, I'll start building the rear. When I get the rear done, we can put the diff back in. So when we get back, we'll jump back on the Camaro and then
Yeah.
get
I want
it
to work on
knocked
that
out. Till it's
dialed.
running.
Not running, dialed in and ready to do well at a race.
Okay.
Or drag and drive event.
Okay. So plan A is to do that. Plan B, we got to have a plan B because that's assuming Dave and the guys at Nitrous Outlet get us the intake in time. That's assuming that we get the transmission in time because I can't Fred Flintstone this. It's gonna have to power itself down the track. So we got to have the transmission. And we got to have the intake to get this finished. We can get everything else done. If we get to that point we don't have the transmission and intake, I say we swap places and get back to the wiring. And technically we could start wiring the ute there. We don't have to move it, right?
Not necessarily.
I mean, not all of it, but most of it's gonna, I mean, there's gonna be some stuff up underneath, but a lot of this is gonna be in the car. The main harnesses are in there.
Yeah.
Jacob and I, with the assistance of Mr. Wood, I don't know how much assistance it was. I think it was more like getting in the way. Nonetheless, Bill helped as well. We got the motor stuff. Next up is stuff in the tranny.